Righty, welcome back again, guys. So I know the video's a bit sporadic and a bit weird lately, but until I can get something to do, whether it's vehicles or whatever, and just be kind of whatever it is at the moment. But you know, I'm just heading down to the workshop. My PC at home needs a freaking good clean. Unfortunately, with having that truck grill case, which I'll throw up at the end, I'll show you, but you've all probably seen it before. I'm guessing it's because it's got no dust filters. It really sucks the dirt in. At some point I would actually like to fix that issue. I've sort of thought about it a couple of times, but I was actually watching a couple of videos on some guys, just because I'm not doing much, you know, in between obviously applying for jobs and searching for jobs and whatever, or trying to find people to freaking commit to doing something like in the workshop. Yeah, I've just been flicking through videos, and I've been watching this guy clean up PCs off Facebook Marketplace and tidy them up and whatever, and then resell them again. And I was like, it's not a bad idea. If I can get a few dollars together, I might do that. But I was just sitting there and I was thinking, I know mine freaking collects dust, and every now and again I'll blow it out, but I kind of do it with the vacuum cleaner at home. It's got like the blow function, and so yeah, it doesn't really get the dirt out of it. And I pulled the cover off before, and I was like, holy shit! It's a wonder it's still running. So I want to put the old marina outside because the weather's been shit, and just let it sit out there for a few hours, maybe a day. Make sure it's not leaking. With the way I've got the windscreen stuff set out, I didn't get a chance to do that at the end of the last video. In the end of the last video was basically when I went to have a look at that guy's car to do some work on. But yeah, that was like unfortunately a waste of time. I could have brought it in and done a bit of work on it, and then he could have taken it away, but he was wanting me to hold it here and just chip away at it, and freaking, you know, maybe, I don't know, sort of $400 or $500 a month, $600 a month sort of thing, which would have been okay, but I just don't have the room to store a car that's like four foot longer than it should be. So yeah, I don't have the room. Like, if I knew I wasn't going to get anything else in here, and I had something else to do, I probably could have done that. But it's such a big car. If I end up with something else that I want to get in here, that's worthwhile doing, it just really restricts me. I just don't have the room. Like, if I had space for maybe 5 or 6 cars, you know, comfortably, like, it probably would have been worth the do, if you know what I mean. But not when I've only really got space for sort of 3 or 4. So anyway, so I've got the PC in the back. I've taken the case off it, the cover off it. I should actually brought the cover down because I've got the 2 parts for it here that I've been meaning to put on for a while, but I'll just take those bits home with me. So yeah, we'll give this computer a bloody good blowout. I'll sort of just go over the specs of it. At some point I would like to do some more upgrades on it, but at the moment it's just not on my finances, and PC stuff is freaking expensive. Right, that marina right here. So I'll just show you that it's nice and dry in here. So the only place I think that it could possibly leak, if it did, with the rain, is in through that grommet hole. But I'm hoping not. Like, that doesn't matter that that's off, because it just runs through there and then runs through those vents in the bonnet underneath the hood. So yeah, this will be a good test. We've got some shitty shit weather. It absolutely pissed down last night, which would have been a good test like this morning, you know, like 3 or 4 o'clock this morning when it was absolutely bucketing down. I woke up about 4 and it was just absolutely hosing down, so I got up because I just couldn't go back to sleep. So yeah, it'll be a good test. We're really about to see whether it's got any leaks, and at least then when these frickin' carpets turn up, we can put it back together, you know. to the final last little bits. It's only just a matter of throwing the grill in and a few odds and ends and a few screws here and there. I'm not panicked about it at the moment. So anyway, because I've been meaning to put some sort of like mesh, like fine dust filter cloth behind, because you can just see it just gets caked with the dirt and the fans. I've actually been halfway tempted at some point to replace these fans with something bigger, better airflow. So it's got 12 of these. Well, this one's not the same, but it actually spins fast. This one, I don't know what it is. It just was out of an old PC that I picked up from somewhere. Would it come out of a case or something that I bought to rob bits out of, and it was in there, and I was like, so I plugged it in, and away it went, and it actually spins fast, and these ones actually blows a bit more hot air out there. So they basically got 4 exhausts and 8 intakes, just to keep the airflow good. And I also obviously got these fans on here. So it's a Ryzen 5700X, only fortunately a 1660 Super, with 6 gigs of RAM. I've got 32 gigs of memory in it now. At one point I only had 16. It's mixed match, but the timings and the speeds are all the same. At some point, if I do happen to upgrade it further, I could probably swap that RAM out or whatever, or I'll probably just build a new platform. Like, we're at the end of the thing. Like, I could go, so it's an 8-core CPU, 16 thread. I could go 16-core, but I don't think that motherboard would handle it either. But it would, like, I could soon, if I ever do make this a better system where it doesn't get so much dust in it, and I do build a better platform. I've built this so it can take way bigger motherboard too. Like, I've got holes in here for way more cards. Like, I'd actually quite like to use it, but I'd actually like to put I think I could get 3 200mm fans in there. I think it is. Where's the tape measure or ruler? So it's a 600mm roll. What is 600 mils? Yeah, I could get 3 200mm fans in there, so 8 inches. So I could do 3 down each side and really frickin' blast some air out of it. And then I probably could take a couple extra ones of these and maybe wiggle these around and put 4 up here. And probably could even put an extra on it here to blow. Well, you can't though, because I've got the cables there. I just put that one there because I thought it just helped get the heat out. But you could even put another one down in here if you really wanted to help extract heat. But I think, 6 of the 200mm fans, because it would totally fill up. Either that, or I could maybe, I don't know whether it would work, get a couple of big frickin' car fans and put them behind there. But I think 3 600mm or 400mm would. Hold on. 6 200mm fans would be work, because these are 120s. They do make 140s, and I've actually seen recently they make 160s as well. But yeah, I didn't realise they made those sizes. But yeah, they can make 200mm ones as well, which aren't really common. But if you wanted heaps of airflow, especially if you build a really high-end rig for editing, if things come right and I'm doing a lot more stuff and I want to build my own shit, it'd be nice to have the horsepower to edit videos. Well, it's not so much editing, it's the rendering the videos faster. I'm about to do 4K all the time and all that sort of shit. So I've actually got 1, 2 there's a pair of drives in here. I really need a better motherboard. So a pair of mechanicals. I think I've got 6 mechanical drives, but they aren't all hooked up in here. And then 2 M.2s. knowing what I know now, I would have went for a the higher spec motherboards instead of like the B series. See if I got, yeah, I got two. Yes, I got two drives in here, and then two here, and then two here. So what have I got? One. Just trying to think what I've got hooked up. Oh, that's a converter. See, that one's plugged in, but it's not. So if I ever need to get information off any of these other ones, I don't have enough SATA ports. I've thought about getting an expansion card. Because that's where the advantage of having like a board with like 6 or 8 SATA ports would be really handy. But yeah, so yeah, I've got 6 drives in there, but I can only use 4 at once. Anyway, I think we'll grab some air. We'll just blow the worst of the dust out of here, and then we'll get in with a brush and whatever. I'm not going to go full on hog and pull it all apart, but we definitely need to give it a fucking good blowout with some air. Right, so yeah, it's a good 35, 40 minute deep clean. Well, I wouldn't say deep clean, but so I might give that a bit of what. Just might get a rag, just a damp rag, Just maybe wipe over a couple more of these, just fans and stuff, so they're not quite so grubby. Like, I don't want to go crazy, but we're definitely blowing a lot of dirt and shit out of there. So it's only 600 watt power supply. Like, it really probably needs to be bigger, but it's fine for what I'm running at the moment. I run it through one of those, what do you want to call it? PC part picker calculators with all the components, roughly. So with basically the same components as water, as I could work out, the ones that I could pull up on the list. There was a couple that weren't available, but like I threw the basically the drives in there, the ones that I had hooked up anyway. You know, the RAM and the fans and the CPU and whatever, and I got about 100 and I'm trying to think what it was. Was it? So it's a 600 watt. I think I had like, I think it was like 420, 430 watts max use. I think. So like, I'm probably not running anywhere near that. I'm probably running sort of like 250, 300 most of the time. But when I'm rendering, it's probably drawing sort of 430. So I've got a little bit of headroom, but not a lot. You know, 150 watts, give or take. Well, it's not the best power supply. It's an AVG 600 watt BR. Like, I used to have a semi-modular, but it was only was it 500. Like, I've still got it. I thought I just kept it just in case over at some point stumbled across a couple of cheap motherboards, because I do have a 2200G, which I could put together for the young fella at some point, was kind of my thinking. But for the price of the CPUs, I could probably just get something better. But the biggest problem with other CPUs, you've got to have a unless you get one that's an APU, like the 2200G or the 5600G or the 3400G or any of the other G variants of the Ryzens, or if you're Intel, you know, whatever one that's got the integrated graphics on, you know, then you need a graphics card, especially if you're going to play games. But the Ryzen ones will play. Sorry, my phone went flat there. I have a lot of charge on it. So yeah, like some of the later model G variants are actually, I wouldn't say they're great, but you know, they'll play, you know, a few games reasonably well, you know, with lower quality settings, you know, sort of mid to low quality settings. But 2200G would definitely struggle now, but it's still not a bad CPU for just probably everyday tasks, if you know what I mean. Yeah, especially on a half decent motherboard, you know, for with an M.2 and a half decent RAM, still be a good, even just office PC sort of thing. Like, you know, if you're just surfing the web and just opening emails and stuff like that, would be perfectly fine. You know, it'd be quite good. But yeah, there's not much else I can tell. Like, I was just giving it an extra wee bit of a wipe down while I wait on my phone to charge a little bit. Just gave the fans a wee bit of wipe down with a damp rag, and yeah, I think I'll just back the car up to the door and close up and bugger off again. And I'll plug it all back in at home and go from there. But yeah, it's just a 600 watt power supply, I think. So if I ever upgrade, I don't know when I'll upgrade, but to be honest, I wouldn't mind just putting even a better GPU on this thing at the meantime. Like, the 1660 Super is pretty light for rendering videos. It does the job, but so I know the 5700X, which is an 8-core 16-thread CPU, is pretty decent at most things. Like, it's about to become 2 generations old. It's 1 generation old at the moment. Been around for a wee while now, but I think they're getting close to releasing the new generation again since the last one of the Ryzen, but it, unfortunately it won't if you don't know much about compute CPUs. This lasted for this generation that will fit in. The motherboard will take anything from what they call a first gen, you know, like a 1700X, which would be the original 8-core CPU, or 2700X or 3700X. They jumped the 4700. That basically become mobile platform. I think that's how that works. And then they jumped to the 5700X, and there's other variants as well. But yeah, like they jumped. I think the 6700 type sort of thing is again mobile laptop stuff, and then it's 7700X is basically the new generation of this sort of type thing. And you know, I'm not sure if it's going to be 87 or 97. I'm not sure how they're doing that. I'm not quite sure how they're planning the next lot of figure configurations, because it used to be every generation just went up a figure, and they had the mobile variants of it with different things, but then they decided to split it to desktops were one like 37, and then their mobiles were, or the laptop CPUs were like the 4000 series or whatever, you know. And this is 5000 series, and then the new laptop variant is 6000 series, and then the desktop is 7000 series. So I'm not sure if the new desktop's going to be 8000 or 9000. No, because they changed their minds. But yeah, but it's still a really good CPU. Like, I could go 16 core, but as I said, the motherboard's probably a little light for that. It just probably doesn't have enough power delivery to make it really efficient. And like, I could quite easily put quite a decent graphics card in this, but again, the motherboard's probably not really good enough to, because I could go a better motherboard. Like, still in this generation, there's a generation of motherboards after this which are quite a bit better and read faster between stuff. But yeah, it's just, if you're going to do that and start buying a new motherboard, a new CPU, and a new graphics card, well, you may as well just jump a couple of generations. Yeah, no point, unless you happen to pick it up for cheap, you know, unless you happen to come across a couple of good deals on, you know, Facebook Marketplace or something like that, and then you could, you know, you could mix and match some of your bits and pieces, and, you know, put some of your old bits together and some of their bits together, and, you know, make a couple of computers out of it, you know, and you got it at a decent price. But otherwise, I wouldn't bother. If you're just going to buy a heap of new parts, you may as well just restart your platform again and just put this in a different case, if you know what I mean. Give it to, you know, to young flow to use, or sell it, or whatever, if you know what I mean. But I think sometimes it's handy keeping all the components around, because if something happens to break down, at least you've got a backup, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we'll throw this in the car and we'll bugger off, and we'll hook it back up and just, I don't know, see if it runs any better for being all the dust and dirt and shit. Alrighty, so back in here, all plugged in. I put that trim back on. I actually really need to bend the little tabs out. But I've got a pin in here that at some point I need to work out properly, so it drops in. It's a vertical pin that drops into the inner frame, and then these 3 bolts, which they had gears screwed onto them, screw in. But so that's it. Yeah, eventually I'd actually like to, like I said, have some sort of filtration, work out some sort of filtration to slip in behind here, whether it's magnetically held in or something like that eventually, just so it doesn't suck quite so much dirt in and dust in. And obviously this is where, you know, it helps exhaust air out through here where that other fan is. And there, if you can see it, probably can't, you know what I mean. and this is actually the power button, so this is where the radiator cap would have been. So I just glued a gear on there. And when I built the inner frame, this is a button out of an old PC. I just JB welded it into the middle of the gear, and then they made that work. So when you want to turn it on, you just turn it on there. So yeah, at one point I did have a LED strip around the inside, and actually looked quite cool. Like you could make it glow green or whatever, but it fell off eventually. So I don't know, maybe at some point when I want to put those, say like 200mm fans in there, if I put 6 in the front, which would fill most of that hole, maybe I can get some RGB ones. Not that I'm really worried, but it's quite cool. You know, just a little bit of ambient light. It does actually look pretty cool, because that one there just glows green. If you can see that, there's a little bit of green in it. Not that I'm really worried about it, you know what I mean, but it is quite cool. It's one thing I keep dealing with at the moment. For some weird reason, I don't know why it is. It just does it every now and again. I think it's certain updates. Because my speakers are plugged into the monitor. It's 34-inch widescreen, I think. I think it is 34-inch widescreen. Yeah, it at the moment, I've got to turn the monitor on and off. It was working fine there for quite a while, and then like it did this ages ago, and then all of a sudden it just doesn't seem to recognise. So I got it hooked through a DisplayPort cable at the moment. So yeah, I don't know. Every now and again, if it really bugs the shit out of me, I plug in the HDMI cable and switch, because I've got an HDMI cable that I can plug into it as well. So occasionally I'll swap it if it becomes too much of a pain in the ass. It doesn't seem to do it on HDMI, but I don't know. I don't know whether what display works better, but yeah. If I just jump into here for a minute. Yeah. 200mm fans. As you can see, I've looked at them a couple of times. They don't have to be anything super expensive, but say I'll just go to see. This is the guys here I use in New Zealand to buy a lot of my stuff from. I got 200mm fans at the moment. Oh yeah, only fucking that's terrible. But why won't Noctua do a decent fucking coloured fan? That pisses me off, it really does. But I don't know, maybe I could try some of these, I don't know, fucking cheap ones, I don't know, from AliExpress or something like that. Maybe. Fuck, look at that, they're only like $6 something in freaking New Zealand, plus a controller. I don't know how many does it come with, just one I guess. It's weird too, it's not even a fucking English, it drives me insane. Translate to English. Isn't that weird? It does that. I don't know why. It like makes it in Dutch. But yeah, I don't know. There's probably plenty. But yeah, like I don't know. If I could get 6 at a decent price that weren't frickin' half decent quality, I probably would at some point. To be honest, even just something like this. Fantags. White edition. Why are they white? I don't know. Yeah, see, they haven't got the frickin' things right out in the corners either, which makes make it awkward. But yeah, I don't know. Why'd you not at $30 each though? This is the sort of thing I would like if they were a decent price. I know they're only 120s. 20 mil. So it's AliExpress as well. Well, it's the sort of thing I would like. They would be alright, but God, not at not at $60 each. That would be good, but yeah, not for just straight black vans. Yeah, I don't know. At some point, I'll work something out. There'll be something pop up someday. These are actually the guys I used to use in Australia. PC case gear. These guys are actually good. God, that's $70 in Australia. Whoa, that's big dollars. So it's $1, about $1.10 New Zealand to convert it to Australian. See, if I get some of these, would be alright. $50, still with it, dear, but like, yeah, that'd be decent. But yeah, these guys won't ship to New Zealand, but that'd probably be alright, if you know what I mean. Anyway, just give us some product. Yeah, anyway, so that's the piece all cleaned up and put back together and whatever. So I do have a this board here. I don't put it on very often. It sits in here to trim it out. If it screws on down here and here. And it does the same on the other side. The same on the other side. So if I ever need to get into, like say, turn the power supply off or something like that, I can just get in there and do it, unplug it with the cover on. So if I need to get in here to do anything, just before I shut this down, or look, I can get into here. It's not easy, but it's doable, if you know what I mean. If I need to unplug something or plug something in, or like keyboard and mouse. Like, I hate this freaking keyboard. I had a half decent one on the fucking young fella. Spilled water on the thing and fucked it. But yeah, we'll get a new keyboard. I'd like a cord keyboard again. This is okay, but it just chews through the fucking power. And now he can't use his little computer in his bedroom to fucking watch movies, which is a pain. But anyway, if he wants to, unless I unplug it because he's got the mouse and everything in his bedroom. So anyway, that'll do. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Send me some work while it's away if you're in New Zealand. You want a car fixed. Or, I don't know, I can make you a PC too if you really wanted me to.